Hey everybody, welcome back to Paint Minis Live. My name is Bill T. Welcome. It's good to see you again. If you're viewing the replay later on, thanks for joining us. And yeah, we're doing some more orky stuff tonight for Cal's Abyssal Dwarf set. I'm just grabbing all the models that I've got for Cal's project here, as we've been switching gears from last night's female fighter part 2. Turned out really well, I think. Again, with the autofocus on this bad boy. That's gonna change here pretty soon. Let me orient myself. Yeah, she's looking pretty good, all things considered so far. Ordered up a new camera. I caved. I just really want Paint Minis Live to have good quality coming out of it with the the models, so you guys can see what's actually happening instead of the cameras being out of focus most of the time. But it's been pretty good. With the stuff that I have going, kind of balling on a budget. The webcams that I've been using have been all right, and I'm just excited for it. I think it's gonna really add some nice detail to the picture quality, and hopefully that way you guys can kind of see what's going on more or less. What else do I have to talk about prior to painting? Doing some more painting here. Well, yeah, I think that's kind of the big one. Just gonna be setting up a new camera this weekend, so I'm hoping to do a stream, but it's really gonna depend on if all the equipment arrives in time. Because right now I've got this webcam mounted on a tripod so that I can kind of move it around and whatnot. What's actually going to happen is over here on this panel wall, I'm going to stick an arm, not quite like this guy, but I'm going to stick an arm up here and kind of have it shoot down at the spray booth and that area, so that I can do that. And hopefully figure out how to add in a second camera kind of functionality, so that I can have one just at myself while I'm painting and whatnot. Welcome to Light Main. How you doing, Light Main? I was listening to some more of your story in the van. I'm just getting to the part now where your characters are visiting the temple, and the Wood Elves wanted to charge them the hefty price of 3 silver apiece until some kind of maybe omnipotent voice or some kind of voice started talking about maybe lowering the price a little bit and letting them in. So I'm intrigued to find out what happens next, since they've just started their adventures and they're getting underway. But it's I do enjoy listening to your book when I'm out on delivery. So I did get some of that in today. So your world uses silver as a standard. So 3 gold pieces, effectively. I mean, silver, gold, kind of interchangeable. Yeah, there you go. Calvinoni, the one and only, is coming in. Hello, Calvinoni. How you doing? Good to see you. We've done quite a bit of work on your orcs so far. We still have a decent amount of stuff to do with this paint job, and I'm sure you want these guys back at some point. So again, I'm gonna try and squeeze in a weekend, just a turbo paint weekend. But I also did get some cool things in too. These look absolutely crazy if you don't know what they are, but they're pins and then they're pin backs. So, I can now make my own laser cut and engraved pins, which I thought was really cool. So maybe throughout the next couple of streams for your minis, we'll have to figure out like a really cool or funny catchphrase, like to put on a pin, and we'll send it with the minis so that you can have like kind of a cool, little extra bit for waiting so long. Yeah, I don't know what we'll say. I thought about maybe doing an engraving and be like dirty, my orcs are dirty pig pink or something, since that was kind of the running joke a little while back. But yeah, we'll figure it out. I'm sure somebody will drop some kind of line somewhere down the line, and we'll put it on a pin, send it with you. It's just kind of a for the lulls, I suppose. Tonight, I think I'm gonna focus on some highlights for the orcs. They've got a lot of basing done on them already. We did some nice basing on some of these guys. Let's see if we can get the autofocus to work again. Yeah, I'm gonna be so excited when that new camera comes in. I'm hoping to stream this weekend with it, but well, like I said, it'll depend on the equipment. We got their tabards and stuff are a nice brown. I think we're gonna do some highlights there. I think the highlights came out pretty decently on their faces and whatnot there. But yeah, I think that's kind of where we're headed next, is just to do some simple highlights in some various places. Do some just smaller details tonight on them. The dwarves have been quite a controversial topic in my own mind. Here's one that's a bit more finished. These guys here, man, I have just been kind of thinking about them, and they look good. We've done a lot of work on them, but I'm not convinced this color scheme is really working out. It looks good. Anywho, just a thought I'm thinking about is just the orange kind of purpley thing. I do work best with maybe not monotone paint schemes, but just kind of those really clash together hardcore. I'm thinking about maybe doing something a bit more realistic with them. Since I do have plenty of them to play with, I might just kind of take some personal time and run through a couple of them on my own, and just kind of feel out if there's any other paint schemes that might work out in a bit better fashion, because I just don't know. I didn't have a very good plan of what I wanted to do there. So, anywho, moving on. I got some nice mint tea here to chill with us as we get ready to paint. Alright, let me get you guys down into the spray booth. Alright. So these are our orcs that we're gonna be working on. I'm gonna grab some gloves here real quick, so I don't have to wash my hands. How's everybody doing out there tonight? That's my question. How's everybody doing? What's new? How you been? So I think we've been coming along with these guys pretty well. These guys I like. I do rather enjoy them. Their armor's turning out pretty well. Kind of nice. Kind of nice. Let's take a look. We have some of these guys that we've browned up. May have to go back and looks like a couple of them still need to get browned. Let's see here. You got the brown. You've got the brown. You've got the brown. Alright, so all these guys have the brown. Let's see here. We're looking for light umber. Usually works pretty well for this. I'm gonna throw this on the paint shaker real quick. Just a quick shake ought to do it. We're going to be using light umber for this one from the Pro Acryl line at Monument Hobbies. One of my favorite paint brands. Let's see if we can get that autofocus to kind of help us out here. We shall see. There we go. I just needed a quick second to reset. Alright. Let's see. We're going to be using... I think we're going to use... we use our number 3 sable brush. I'm hopefully getting it Friday. If FedEx is to be believed. Had to sell a kidney for it, but you know, that's okay. We come with 2. I'm just joking. So I only need like maybe a couple drops here. Nothing crazy. We'll do like one big one. It's approximately 2 drops worth of paint. I see a lot of people, and this was one thing when I was kind of a new painter, getting into the hobby. I would use way too much paint. You really only need just a little bit. And if I just literally dip my brush in water. You can see how like wet that is. That's just enough. Just enough water to get you going in there. But anywho, yeah, the new camera's coming on Friday, hopefully, and I'll be getting that set up in the studio. If nothing else, I'll just use the tripod that I've been using for the smaller C920 webcams. They're just, you know, little Logitech guys. Go. Gonna make sure my tip is nice and fine. We're just gonna make some fine strokes right along the creases here of the what I suspect to be, you know, just the cloth, whatever t-shirt he's wearing underneath there. I'm gonna highlight some of these raised edges that are in the light, or what I'm kind of perceiving in my mind is where the light would be. I tend to use larger brushes, even for detail work, just because the paint doesn't dry as fast. use a smaller brush, you'll end up finding that the paint dries really quickly. Another kind of trick for highlighting that I've used in the past is like if you get solid bars like this or kind of 90-degree angles, just pick one side, highlight, I'm highlighting all these guys on the raised edge on the left. Sometimes you'll find little places that are maybe a little bit different, but just taking our time. Like this knife, for example, there's a bottom edge and a top edge, kind of hard to see. Again, I'm hoping that new camera is going to fix some of this stuff. But there's a bottom edge and a top edge on the knife sheath. I believe that's the right term, the sheath of the knife. And I'm just going to highlight the leftmost edge of that. Same thing with the other little riblets on his shirt, the wrinkles. I mean, honestly, most of it is we're just doing a lot of edge highlights. There we go. So you can kind of see how that's turning out there. Bit more pop to it, looks a bit more like fabric. It's looking really nice. So now that I kind of have the mojo down for where I want to go with this, I'm just gonna pick a cup here, squit some water in there as just a quick rinse well in my palette, so that I don't have to go back and forth, because finding that the paint's drying faster than I'd like, and that just, that's just wintertime for you. Paint's gonna dry a little quicker in the winter, just because there's no not as much humidity to keep it wet. You could use a little bit of a retarder agent if you wanted to. That'd probably help, but hey, good to see you, Lightmane. Yeah, keep out your narration stuff. It's good stuff, man. I've really been enjoying it. I'm excited to keep trucking with it. Kind of taking it at my own pace. I've been enjoying it every time I've popped in to check it out. It's some cool work, man. But thank you very much for stopping by, and hope to see you again real soon. All right, so again, just kind of looking, it looks like this specific guy had a bit of a doozy in the casting process. And he's got a back panel that looks like I maybe had missed during some of the painting process. And again, a lot of this highlighting is just takes time. It's a very zen process, easy to relax to for sure. It's a subtle one, but it does add quite a bit of depth once you really get going with it. And if you're wondering, sometimes I'll just, like, even with you know, a standard paintbrush, because I'll do that often with my airbrush, but even with a standard paintbrush, I will just paint a line right onto my glove. And why I'm doing that is I'm doing it just to I guess reform the point of the brush, as well as checking the consistency of the paint to find out just how if it's still kind of in the correct consistency I'm looking for when I'm painting. Because as you sit with it on your palette, it may may get a little thicker on you. Holy man. You've got so you've still got most of that army that you're going on, huh? I mean, that doesn't sound too bad, though. That sounds like quite a few models, but all right. Let's see here. So looks like you still gotta be done. The paint does dry pretty quick, actually, in the winter. I am kind of contemplating about breaking out the wet palette next time I start working on these guys, because it's actually drying really quick. Mercury Wells, how you doing? Welcome to the chat. Good to see you. Good to see you. Find a nice, comfy beanbag chair with the other lounge cats in here, and we got cookies and coffee in the back. Tea if you'd like it. I appreciate you joining us tonight. Just doing some highlight work on Cal's orcs. Definitely feeling the slow jam vibes tonight. Cookies. Everybody loves cookies, man. It's good. It's good. Not only that, but the staggering amount of cookies. Like all the different varieties. Believe it or not, I used to be like a big fan of like the oatmeal raisin. I know that's not really everybody's first choice on cookies, but I don't know. They grew on me for a period there. And then I think I just kind of got maybe a little bit sick of them. And I'm doing this out of shot. Let's get you guys back in here. Robert Phillips is coming in too. Wow, everybody's showing up. We got 6 lounge cats in the studio. Hello, hello, everybody. Thanks for showing up. Much appreciated. So you can kind of see, we'll say, yeah, the new news in town, by the way, for both of you guys, Mercury and Robert, we got a new studio camera coming in the mail. So I'm hoping that's gonna help out with maybe some of the image quality and the some of the autofocus issues I've been having issues with. So I'm really looking forward to getting hold of that, and I'm hoping that it shows up, FedEx says, by Friday. So I'm hoping this weekend to kind of have a stream to test it out, so you guys can see both my you guys can see all my beautiful mistakes. But yeah, so that's kind of the big news in PML world right now. You're still waiting on too many orders. Oh, do you... For models, is the collection continuing to grow there, Cal? So, kind of crazy. I took a look at the analytics of the channel. I am super impressed that we have so many subscribers that you know, that come back and take a look at what's been going on in the replay. So to everybody out there in the replay just chilling out, thank you. Thanks for coming back. I appreciate it. I do this as a hobby. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. I hope you do too. Our last live stream on Tuesday night, or was it the one before that? I think it was There's a D&D female fighter that I'm working on for Sapphire. Got like 100 views. That's pretty cool. Kind of a nice little morale booster. So that's pretty fun. Although Calvinoni, the one and only, with his orcs and dwarves, still hold the most views total. I think I'm gonna have to maybe clean this brush soon. Yeah, people sure like these orcs. And the dwarves. So that's been cool to see. Just one moment here, folks, as I kind of nail down this dude's belt. I'll hop back to the chat and see what's going on. I did see some conversation about what makes a healthy cookie. I would say oatmeal raisin's probably a pretty good health conscious choice. If you're gonna go for a cookie, I mean, yeah. It's either that or, you know, kind of the sin boldly approach, in my opinion, and just go for the triple chocolate chip or whatever. And then and just write it off, you know. But yeah, I think oatmeal raisin's pretty good. I'll check those out a little bit later. Cal, I appreciate every time you put some pictures up in there. It's really cool to see the different ways that you paint up all the miniatures. I saw you did like some elementals and stuff a little while back in the Discord, and those turned out pretty sick. And I think was it spiders too, or was that RPG Grandma that did the spiders? I'm not sure. Gosh, I gotta catch up with RPG Grandma again too. Holy man. She has been seriously killing it with her channel, and you know, she's always into talking about everything D&D, but I mean, really, she's been putting out some good stuff. Plus, she's kind of doing this, I like this kind of thing she's got going on where she's dropping videos, like just, they're going to release at a specific time, which is really cool. And I kind of like that. So that, you know, when you can be the first person to kind of nag that, I saw it first kind of, fake internet points. So I really do enjoy that. But it's cool. It's cool. She's doing really cool stuff over there. Just gonna try and get a little bit on the yield foot wraps here. Yeah, no, that's not happening. I think I need to mix up some more paint real quick. All right, let's check out the highlight job. I mean, it's definitely adding something you can see on this guy here. A little bit more depth, some flavor. Flavor Flav! If anybody remembers Flavor Flav. I might be dating myself. I am a 90s kid. Put it that way. You have nearly 5,000 fake internet points, Mercury. Very nice, very nice. Robert, what you been up to? I'm just out of curiosity, you know, what you been up to in Hobby World? Hopefully something fun. I'm gonna mix up another little drop of paint here. I already did put some down. What do you know? I just lost track of it. That's what happens when you don't clean your palette between sessions. Tend to just kind of mix up what I need at the time I need it. Unfortunately, it's not like don't believe the hype. Nice, Mercury. Unfortunately, you know, mini paint, because the pigment's so fine and blah blah blah, I'm sure there's reasons for it. It's not as thick as, like, you know, some Bob Ross style acrylic gouache. I believe that is the term. It is gouache, like Gouch. But it's not quite that thick, so it doesn't have that same kind of staying power on the palette. That's why a lot of folks tend to go with the like wet palette, which you can make really easily. Doing up a wet palette is basically as simple as putting a wipe inside of a Tupperware container with a nice sealing lid on it, and you can go ahead and you know, put that down in there. Maybe a little piece of paper on top for a bit of a slicker surface, and then just start going to town. You know, you lay your paint down. Should be, you know, moist but not crazy. And you know, just kind of damp. And you should be in the clear. Just toss a little paint down on that sucker. It'll last you your entire painting session. You're going through some RPGs you've had in a box since the 80s. Well, those sound like wonderful retro hidden gems right there, Robert. Just out of curiosity, do you have are you part of the Delver Discord at all? The Dungeon Delver, Bill Sylvie's channel. That guy is all about the retro when it comes to RPG. And if you got a box full of that stuff, I am sure dude would be thrilled to see some pictures. Because he just likes seeing that stuff, you know, he's that kind of nerd. Yeah, see that, just that little highlighting job there is really bringing out quite a bit with the cloth. That's nothing crazy, just following some simple guides. The Dungeon Minister is in the house. Holy man, welcome. Just out of curiosity, are you still staying warm up there? Should I send some hand warmers, you know, those little chemical packet hand warmers up there? Because it has been crazy cold. And I'm basically just off your southern border. Actually, we might be further north than where you're at, but I mean, it has been cold. Dear Lord. Oh, those sound like really cool Those sound like some really cool RPGs, though. There, Philip. Sorry, Robert Phillips. I was like, oh, I gotta reload my brush. And then the brain just decided, all right, we're gonna shut off a couple of brain cells here real quick. Dungeon Minister says, warm, not so much, but probably no colder than you. Almost due west, if not a bit north. Got it, got it. Here there, Mercury. I'll toast to that with some mint tea. Oh man, gosh, there's something about that. Huge on mint tea right now, and I'm freaking like it. All right, hey, thanks for dropping in, Dungeon Minister. I appreciate the drive-by. Hello, bye-bye. We will see you again real soon, hopefully. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I'm sure Delver would like some pictures of those old retro books. There's some pretty cool stuff. All right. Seems like we have one more orc to go that's got his, that's ready and willing to. Gonna get another little dot of paint down for our last contender here. I think, who was talking about that? Well, I know, like, Shadow and Sons, his whole channel started off, it was, him and his boy, and, their whole channel started off, from, an unboxing video of a game. I was like, that's how that whole thing started. And I thought that was pretty cool. But I know there's a ton of people that enjoy that stuff that would probably be interested in just seeing a video of it. I know I personally kind of gawk over some of the old school 40K stuff. Like, on the YouTubes. I'll go watch people with the old packages and stuff that they find in the attic. I will definitely go and hang out with, go and hang out for a while and watch a video of somebody showing off the old boxes of, like, Space Marines and stuff. we go. Not a lot of figurines for Gamma World back in the day. Yeah, I'm sure. Gamma World, what a trip. What a trip. I have experienced a few Gamma World games. Most of them with that I've played have been with James Keck in the game. You can find James Keck's stuff on Drive-Thru RPG, as well as on Lulu. And he has a Discord server where he just hosts community games of his system. You know, of the game systems that he's created, and it's super fun. But he also does a fantastic Gamma World game there with some really fun regulars, which I would highly recommend you experience at least once in your life because it's absolutely hilarious. I think at one point in the game, I wish I had more time to join them because they're just an absolute hoot. But I was playing a hipster llama, like a chain-smoking hipster llama. Basically your coffee shop bro incarnate in Gamma World. And we had the fabulous Bogo Jorts, who was like a tiny Yoda-looking creature. Ended up wearing a trash can as armor. Somehow made that work. Pretty cool stuff happens in that Gamma World. Very nice. Just gonna make sure I'm not really, you know, not missing any little bits. Alright. So there we go. We got some highlighting done. It was pretty fun. Yeah, and Keck Games, definitely, yeah, definitely check out James Keck's stuff. James Keck is not a telescope. Oh, that's good. That's good. But yeah, him and the crew are they're delightful, fun people. Sapphire's in there. Tonka Todd, the legendary Tonka Todd, is in there. We've got who else? TJ's in there, which I have to go hit up on Discord probably right after I end the stream here. I gotta talk with him too to get his project going. And what else? Dungeon Minister plays in there pretty regularly too. There's just a whole mess of people that are a lot of fun. Can't forget Uncle Brat. Uncle Brat's in there too. He's a fun guy to play with. If you've never played with him, he's all about the rough-em tough-em style. Good time. Yeah, just taking a look at these dwarves, man. I think I went in the right direction, but it's gonna be quite the Yeah, this kind of blue with the orange going on. I dig it, but I don't know. I'm kind of thinking about it. I'm not sure how hard in the paint I'm gonna go with. Gonna go with the scheme. I'll have to go stare at a color wheel and figure that one out. Yeah, like I said, I like it. I mean, it's such a predominant part of it. You know, they're all kind of one color with the color changey stuff on there, which is cool. But I just have to think of other like complementary colors that are gonna go with it to kind of round out their detail a little bit more. I do have plenty to play with though, so I might just, make, keep the ones that I have that color, and then maybe do something fun with the other couple, if that's cool. And it sounds like that is. So we'll just do up a couple of paint schemes that are similar, but maybe just a couple different colors in there that might make it stand out a little bit. Just to try. It's the worst that happens, just spray right over it, because the nice thing about having an airbrush is you can also redo your work really quickly, and you don't lose very much detail at all, because you're putting a layer of paint that's like very thin, probably not microns, but it feels like it anyways, very second skin basically on the model. And if you mess it up, you can just do it again, and all that detail is still there. Well, as with a brush, if you just kind of glob it over, you're gonna end up taking some of that detail away that you paid so much for. I think I'm gonna leave it there for tonight on the project. I kind of have an early day tomorrow, and I'll probably have a late night because I'll hopefully have that camera in my hands, and trying to figure out how to make that thing work. Yeah, because hopefully it'll be coming in tomorrow. Mercury says, I've yet to paint a single mini, but I feel like when I do finally get around to it, you can slip past a lot of mistakes. Yeah, I hope so. Honestly, that would be my dream come true if you decide to go and, get into painting some minis, and you want to use what you've learned here, and you apply it, and you find good success. I will sleep soundly and happily at night. That would be mission success right there. I guess I'm maybe gonna take another couple minutes just because I'm gonna show. I am gonna clean a couple of brushes here, so I may as well just kind of put that in the stream as a little educational bit at the end. This guy, I did some metallics with it. You can kind of see, probably not. It's a little bit more yellow near the, this is called a ferrule, the metal part of the brush that attaches the bristles to the handle, and the handle is the stick part. So the ferrule, kind of near the ferrule here, there's a little bit of yellow. I was painting with some metallics the other night for the D&D fighter. And I don't think just rinsing it kind of got it all the way out. So I'm going to take some fresh water from my rinse well here. I have a nice little quick rinse well that I use. You can find that on the Discord, and just, I don't have any affiliate links or anything, but you can find it there. I do have a link to where you can go and get it. This is some brush soap. This is the Masters brush soap. This stuff is expensive, but what I will tell you is I've had this for a long time. like a really long time. You can see how little of it I've used, and this was like, you know, kind of pretty much flush with the top. You can see it takes a long time to get through this stuff. So even though it does have some expense, the price is kind of worth it. You can find other brush soaps too. Monument Hobbies has Jen's brush goo. I haven't used that yet, but I next time I order from them, I plan on picking some up just to give it a test. You can see some spots here. I'll just point them out with a brush. It's going to be tiny little dots for you. Maybe you can see them. There's a dot right there. There's a couple more dots right there. This is all dried paint that's coming out the inside of the brush. And I'm just going to add a little bit more water. We're going to make a little bit of a lather. Just kind of swirl it around in the brush soap. Try and get it all nice and coated, as well as work it into the brush too. It's a conditioner too, so you can leave this to dry just kind of as is. I tend to you can see around the edges of the container. I've actually wiped my brush off. I prefer to kind of only use like whatever is going to stay in there is going to condition the brush, in my opinion. You could leave it just like that, let it dry. And what it'll do is it'll keep your point of your brush nice and tidy, so the next time you go to use it, it's going to be right and ready for you. But I think those little bits in there, that's good enough for me. Those little bits coming out, I think, are going to help in the long run. Got another guy here. We got a little bit of splaying going on, and I think that's because I used this a bit harder. You can see the bristles are supposed to be yellow. It's brown towards the ferrule. Robert was surprised you remembered a lot of mini painting from back in your 13, picked it up again 8 years ago. Nice, nice. I'm glad you're back in the hobby. I hope you're having fun. Always good to hear people returning to it. I just find it super zen, and I just, you know, hope that everybody can find the same amount of relaxation that I do in painting. It's I tend to do my best work kind of later at night too, which is why the streams are so late. Just because it does get me relaxed, ready for bed. 8 and 13 are Fibonacci series numbers. All right, all right. No clue where that conversation's coming from. But the Fibonacci sequence, that's definitely a fun thing. This one's really got it deep down in there. I have to use a little alcohol on that bad boy. Which is another thing, you can use just some straight rubbing alcohol. Just rinse your brush out in that bad boy. You'll watch some goop come out of it too. It's a little rougher on your brush though, so. Already, this is getting better. Hey, what's up, Gabe? Good to see you again. Just cleaning off some brushes, about to wrap up here pretty soon. But I thought I would kind of do a speed run, how to clean your brushes. More orcs, filthy, nasty orcs. Indeed.
Those filthy, nasty orcs. What does it have in its pockets? Gabe, you have it in your pockets?
Okay, maybe that was a little cringe. And just like that, friends and compatriots, we have ourselves some nice clean brushes, so next time we go live, our equipment is ready to go. You must give me 3 guesses. The problem is I'm not really a riddler, and I doubt I could come up with any riddles that would be like really hard to get.
What gets wetter as it dries you?
There's your riddle, Gabe. What gets wetter as you get drier? I'll give you 3 guesses. Gotta love the spontaneous riddle games. Yeah, you got it. It's a towel. Gosh, there's no pulling a fast one on you, huh, Gabe? That's about the only riddle I know. Thank you. I do appreciate it. I'm here. I'm here streaming for twice a week. For now. Oh, yeah, well, that one's from the movie, but I forget the answer. Yeah, the horses on the hill. God, it's been so long since I've seen The Lord of the Rings. Oh, and I mean, yeah, because it was time was one of them. White horses on a red hill. First they champ, then they stomp, then they stand still. Man, I'm stumped because I'm like visualizing this. Well, there's 24. No, there's only 12 hours on a clock.
What's taters, precious? What's taters?
You know, potatoes. Boil 'em, mash 'em, stick it in stew.
Taters. Don't know taters. We don't know them. Don't know them.
It's evolved now from paint minis live. Let's paint minis to let's just make fun of Lord of the Rings and make Bill's last brain cell, who is struggling to reach second place, work really hard at riddles that I know nothing about. So just for the sake of conversation, real quick, since we're talking about it, the Lord of the Gollum video game, I heard, was an absolute dumpster fire. Like, they hired a voice actor that didn't even sound like Gollum, and it wasn't that it was like, I listened to some of the clips of the voice actor for the Gollum game, and I heard that it was bad. It was bad. I heard that guy talking, and I was like, man, this really doesn't line up. This is pretty knockoff dollar store Gollum right here. I mean, they could have thrown me a 20, and I would have been like, for $20 I'll do it, because if I don't, people are gonna be angry. They would just, and they were so angry. And people paid like $60 something for that game. Oh my gosh, that's oh. Yeah, I would have happily done it for $20. Yeah, that too. You know, like Gollum himself, Gollum and Smeagol. That whole back and forth story arc could have been an amazing, you know, amazing. Pardon me. Could have been an amazing pairing to just wipe the floor with stories, and they totally tossed that one out the window apparently. And yeah, nerd rage too. Like, I have a feeling that we'll be, at least for the video game industry, I'm surprised we haven't started seeing more and more class action lawsuits. So yeah, especially with the whole Dungeons and Dragons thing too. That was big. That was big. That cost that company so much money. Robert Phillips, there is a Paint Minis Live Discord. I will, as soon as I get done with this stream, I will go and put it in the description. I'll go upstairs and do that. I've been meaning to put that back in there. It's really strange though. Every time I put them up there, I put them up on YouTube, the link, I set it so that it never expires, but then after like 7 days, it just does. Even though I create a new link for it and go through the whole rigmarole with Discord. But yes, there is one. I invite you to come and join us. We've got a wonderful community in there. A lot of the regular lounge cats are in there. There's some really cool painters who, honestly, they're fantastic. They're really good. They sometimes I feel like they put my work to shame. It's so good. There's some really good painters in there. We have a community model showcase in the Discord as well. It's just literally like one click down from the general Discord itself. Super easy to just go in there, post your minis. I check up in there when I can. But always cool to be in there with the other live chat lounge cats. Like the critters. Yeah. Yeah, toxic fandoms. Yeah. Oof. I've seen that with like the Call of Duty franchise for sure. That's a pretty toxic fan base. That is just absolutely wild. God forbid you turn on voice chat. Other toxic fandoms. That's a thinker. Some movie series comes to mind too. But granted, like, I feel like most of these creative, endeavors with like films, video games, stuff of that nature, it kind of boils down to like just bad planning, maybe, and also like just there's been a lot of creative blunders, and it's been really steamrolling the past like 10 years. And because I remember when I was a kid, I felt like I was really in a golden age for like creative productions and stuff. There was a lot of really good stuff coming out in, well, further back even than 10 years ago, but like, from about 2000 onward, there was some pretty good stuff coming out. There was some pretty good stuff coming out. In terms of, film, video games, things like that. There were some flops too, but there has been a serious tank with a lot of like IPs and just universes and stuff with the creatives that has just kind of fallen flat, like really, really bad. I remember the most recent Matrix. Was it Matrix? I want to say Matrix was, Yeah, it was the Matrix series. I watched the most recent movie, and it was pretty good, but ooh, there was some pretty cringe points in that movie. I watched it just because it had the word Matrix in it. I was like, all right, sure, well, I'll bite. The Halo TV shows were like, I think absolutely ruined that franchise for me, and that was like, that was my first big step into like the whole video games thing. And wow, ooh, that one still makes me want to kind of gag. The Gollum game with you know, Lord of the Rings, like, yeah. If you want to see some quality stuff though on Lord of the Rings, and you're kind of a video game nerd, especially for some of those kind of retro MMO games, World of Warcraft, but you know, kind of janky like that, go check out Miss Bella Games. She does some really wonderful let's play kind of things with the Lord of the Rings online and some of those other MMO games. But she's a very kind personality. She's got a wonderful voice too, for doing the voiceover stuff, and in the chats she talks about with her while she games. But just another really great character out there on YouTube. Worth the check out. I really like listening to her stuff when I'm doing chores. Same thing with the Light Main's audiobook kind of deal. But yeah, I like listening to Miss Bella when I'm out doing chores and stuff, because it's just nice to have on, and I can check up whenever she's doing a little battle or whatever. It's just cool. It's cool. Mercury says nerds are naturally obsessive about details, so we're not the community to antagonize with studio rewrites. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, so you're working on a game there, Gabe? What kind of TTRPG you working on? That's really cool. And it takes a lot of work too, you know, getting all the mechanics down and stuff. Our very own Tunkatod has been working on a game system called Wildlands for the better part of 12 years, I think, and he's got some wonderful stuff in there, but it has taken a lot of work for him to get through some of that stuff. And then James Keck with his beautifully done Simple Sixes system, and then his C4X system as well. And he's wrapped that C4X system in various kinds of settings. You can go check it out. It's like he's got one for like superheroes and kind of a much more futuristic is Travel I think Traveler is the futuristic one. I know that Gamma World is kind of the apocalypse one, but I think it's Traveler is the more futuristic one. But he's got kind of a wrap up, you know, a skin of the C4X system in a more spacey theme too. Well, that's really cool that you're learning how to play D&D, listening to his stuff. Honestly, I feel like D&D is straight up just quality gaming. You know, any tabletop role-playing game. Which makes me kind of lead off to my next small little story for you guys before I head off here. I'm already kind of stretching it. But I had last weekend, I was up with my parents and my niece, who I had been running a game for their the friend group that she's got. I ran a game for them. They got really hooked on the RPG thing. It didn't take them too long to kind of get the gist of it. But we just recently wrapped up our little campaign that we had done, and she wanted to run a one-shot with us, and so we all got together. I got the kidlets, some pizzas, and some pop, and we played this one-shot where we were at a carnival. And we played different kinds of games, and the long story short of it is that we found out that they weren't actually paying their workers; they were just indentured servants. So we ended up going and cooking the tax books, because the knight in our party was lawful good and could not justify killing this guy, even though he was just kind of being a crook and not paying his workers. So we cooked the tax books as well as rewrit all the contracts so that they would be paid minimum wage plus back pay for what they hadn't been paid over the years. And we ended up that guy got thrown in jail by the lord of the land for being a tax for basically tax evasion that we wrote into his books. Oh yeah, diceless combat is some seriously cool stuff too, which is a lot of fun. Kind of that mental theater of the mind D&D stuff is always great. But yeah, had a great time. Our next campaign that I'll be running with her and her friend group is going to be a RPG. It's an indie RPG called Butter Princess, and it takes place at the Minnesota State Fair. It's really cool. Oh, you ditched the D20, so you just changed out the combat dice. Okay, gotcha. But Butter Princess takes place at the Minnesota State Fair, and with the object of doing something with a butter sculpture, hence the name Butter Princess. And it's really funny because, like, instead of like outright dying, you just get swept into the crowd, never to be seen by your party again. There's really funny kind of like magical weapons, air quotes, where like if you pick up the Farmer's Almanac, you can make it rain or do like funny little things with that. You have like, you can pick up a foam finger where you can just kind of direct the crowd, one of those red foam fingers or whatever, so it's just kind of cheesy, really funny kind of stuff. Another one that I looked into that I thought was really cool was called Goblin Errands. Yeah, Goblin Errands. That's a really cool one that you guys should check out. It's really funny. He plays a troop of goblins, and if you roll really high, you succeed, but it has to be in a really funny way, or like a really just roundabout way. If you roll low, you fail like a goblin. It's just great. It's great. But that's my rant on all that. Anybody else have any quick questions, comments, so on and so forth before I wrap it up here? We've been at it for about an hour and 20 here. I'm hoping that I'm hoping I can make the streams a little longer, a few months down the road. Still kind of recovering from all the shenanigans that was the holidays, and trying to fit personal time in there, as well as starting up a new workout routine with the one and only Kyle Schwant. He's gonna help me out. I'm gonna be hopefully next year testing for the physical agility test for firefighters, so that I can go start throwing some applications around, and then things will be crazy different. But with that being said, I do appreciate everybody for tuning in, checking out. Have a great weekend indeed, Mercury, and Gabe, Robert, let's see here, Lightmane was in here, Calvinoni, the one and only, the Dungeon Minister was in here tonight. If you're viewing the replay, thanks for sticking it out till the end. I do appreciate it. Whether you were, whatever you were doing with your day and you just decided to pop in, thank you very much. And we'll see you in the next one, and I will make sure to publish the stream schedule real quick. Robert, there'll be a link in the description for the Paint Minis Live Discord, and I'll put out a post on YouTube to just refresh everybody. All right, well, thank you very much. I'm Bill T with Paint Minis Live. Take care. We'll see you then.